Competing on price, it's a hot topic with a lot of builders, especially new builders. What are the 3 top things for you when you work with your clients to get them off that trail of thought and build an awesome business?
So the first thing to realize, if you're competing on price, it's that the client, when looking at you, the builder, they can't see anything different between you and the other guy. So the only differentiator that they can find is the number. So that means you haven't done anything to differentiate. And that's a key thing with your marketing. You want to be different. Okay. So the first way to do that is to specialize I'm a renovations and extension specialist. Then you'll differentiate yourself from the Me Too builders that do everything. All right. So you're a specialist, and then you're also like a cardiologist versus a GP. So if your price comes in higher, people are going to expect that because you're a specialist and you present yourself differently. So there's a lot you can do. And we spoke about the sales process earlier. So having a very clear, well-defined sales process. Why? Well, that's your first impression. First impression is crucial. You want to communicate proactively, effectively. And
on that sales process, you always say there's a 6-step process.
Yeah.
Can you quickly just bullet point what those 6 points are?
Questionnaire. So send out a questionnaire. Just basic list of questions. You can email it to someone to just establish if they're the right fit for you. All you're doing is trying to find out, are you and this person a fit to work together? That's all you're trying to do. You're not trying to sell anything. So questionnaire helps with that. Find out what sort of scope of works, when they want to build, what's their budget, blah, blah, blah. Have they built before? Were they happy with that builder? Is he quoting on the job? Things like that. Once they've gone through that step, you have a phone call with them. We call that an audition call, about 40 minutes. Extract as much as you can about scope of works, the client. Really qualifying, and educating. Those 2 things, qualify, educate, is what the whole sales process is about. If that goes well, they go to the next step in the process, which is booking a site visit or a sales appointment at your display home, whatever it is. If it doesn't go well, if people are wondering what happens there, you just refer them on to someone else. So if someone wants work done that's hour and a half drive away, or it's maintenance work, you don't do it, just refer on to a builder in the area or someone that does that type of work. But if it's going well, site visits booked in, then you send an email with a PDF document, 9 pages, explaining why you charge for quotes. And I'm happy to share that document. I'm going to go through it all now. Also, any videos with you guys, biz video stuff goes in there, in that email, links to that. And then you send a hard copy brochure, snail mail, express mail. Okay, so that arrives 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Then 48 hours later, you then phone, just making sure you got everything okay. The day before the site visit, an agenda. Here's what we're going to cover tomorrow. Reconfirm. An hour before they drive out, they send a text message, turn up on time, presentable, with a run sheet for that meeting.
Yeah. And you always say this, so if a prospective client is reaching out to 2 builders, most of the time, if you're doing all those things, by the time you've finished all those, the other builder still hasn't called them back.
Yes, that's happened a lot now, especially now in this market. But very important last step is presenting a preliminary agreement solution or a cost analysis solution. And then there's other things like ProCalc that you can use in between, which we spoke about briefly before. But that's essentially that 6-step sales process, which is the best possible first impression for an A-grade client. Because remember, a tire kicker is going to be repulsed by that process.
Yeah. Okay, great. So you've got a great sales process. What else? So you've got you're differentiating yourself.
Yep.
You've got a great sales process. How else can you get off this whole competing on price?
Sales process, differentiating, niching, and then, so by virtue of that process, and then we've got to go back to the marketing, which is selling in advance. If you've got a consistent pulse of quality content being photo and video going out there, and you're building an email list and a social media following, and maybe you've got something on houses as well, and then you're going to have more inquiry coming in than you can handle. So the sales process is like a deselection or filtration system that gets rid of up to 80%. One of our guys, 200 inquiries, 35 site visits, 30 contracts, okay, to give you an idea. So say no to 165.
Yeah.
So those 35 that go to prelim or charge for quote and then go to contract, they negotiate a tender. So one builder tender process. So what does that mean? No competing quotes. What's that? License to increase your margin. So that's to get the margin up.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're not competing on price. Well, you're not competing at all. People want to work with you. And in this market now, I can tell you, you spot on. People are getting to that site visit, even without much client banking or pre-marketing, like having watched your videos for 2 years, and they are like, we want to work with you because the other 5 builders we called have not even got back to us. And you've taken us through Questionnaire, Audition Call, FAQ, Brochure, ProCalc, Agenda.
Yeah, and we've had, multiple clients in this room that have said that same thing.
Exactly right.
And it's not an easy thing. Like setting up a business like this, it's all around. You've got to be a good business.
Yeah.
All around. Good sales process, good marketing.
There's no magic bullet. There's no like silver bullet.
But it's not impossible either.
No, these are the things you can start putting in place that'll give you a big upside result, free up time that then allows you to focus on other areas of the business. And that's how you end up going from a negative spiral into a positive spiral quite quickly.